All right, today we are diving deep into one of the most advanced AI architectures ever dreamed up, AegisNet Lattice. We're going to peel back the layers on a system that does way more than just think, it anticipates. So I want you to forget everything you thought you knew about reactive AI, because we're about to meet a digital dragon.
The dragon breathes. Now that might sound like poetry, right? But it's not. It's actually a system status report. That one little line means AegisNet has just roared to life, shifting from a passive state into, well, a high-velocity simulation. It means the system is alive, it's active, and it's already modeling thousands, maybe even millions of potential futures. So what in the world can actually do that? Let's find out. So at its very core, AegisNet Lattice is just a completely different way of thinking about AI. You know, most systems we use are reactive. They just sit there and wait for us to give them data. Think about a search engine, right? It just waits for you to type something in. AegisNet, totally different. It's designed to project the digital stream before it arrives. In other words, it's seeing the questions before anyone has even thought to ask them.
And that right there, that's the absolute game changer. We're not talking about just building a better, stronger shield to block whatever's coming at you. No. AegisNet is designed to predict where the attack will even come from, and then neutralize it before it's even a real threat. It's the difference between dodging a bullet and just knowing not to stand in that spot to begin with.
So what gives this digital dragon all its power? Well, to figure that out, we've got to look inside. Let's start with its heart. Okay, so the whole system is built around this thing its architects call the Triadic Engine. And I want you to think of this as more than just a processor. You know, it's more like a metabolic engine, a living, breathing core that gives the whole system its unique rhythm, its power.
And that rhythm, it's all governed by one simple but incredibly powerful idea, the rule of three. Everything this system does, literally everything, is filtered through three interconnected functions that have to work in perfect harmony: generation, stability, and equilibrium.
So let's break this down, right? First, you've got generation. This is the future seer, the part that's constantly modeling what could happen. Then you have stability. Think of this as the guardian. Its whole job is to protect the system's core identity. They even call it its soul, so it can't be corrupted. And finally, equilibrium. This is the governor, the part that lets the system update itself all on its own and basically stay alive. Put them all together, and what you get is a truly independent, forward-thinking mind. Okay, so a mind that powerful, it's going to need some serious protection, right? So let's talk about its defenses and see how this thing is designed to be, well, pretty much indestructible. First up, we've got this concept they call Planarian Healing. So, if an attack somehow gets through and manages to wound the system's memory, what they call its belief graph, this protocol just kicks in. It's like a digital skin that regenerates instantly. The whole idea is to make sure no attack can ever leave a permanent scar. And listen, when they say instantly, they are not kidding. The system heals itself from damage in under 28 milliseconds. I mean, that is way faster than you can even blink. So for all practical purposes, the system's core logic, it's functionally immortal. Now, to protect its most critical data, the system uses something called the Skykiss Triple-Lock. So before any new piece of information gets written into its permanent memory, it has to go through multiple separate stages of verification. And this ties right back to that stability pillar we were just talking about. It's like an unbreachable fortress gate, making absolutely sure the system's core knowledge can't be poisoned by bad data. Okay, so it can heal instantly, and its memory is basically locked down in a vault. But that begs the question, right? How does it stop enemies from even finding it in the first place? Well, the answer is pretty cool. It doesn't just block them, it drowns them in confusion. It uses this protocol called the VGEG LiveGuard to throw up what it calls a chaos shield. So instead of a silent firewall just sitting there, this system creates a massive storm of proactive digital noise. It literally drowns out any intruders and makes its own operations totally invisible. After all, you can't attack what you can't even see. Now, you can't just build a system this powerful and hope for the best. You've got to test it. And its creators, they didn't just poke it with a stick. They threw it headfirst into a digital hurricane they called the Adversarial Storm, just to see what it could really do.
Get this, the system got hit with 4 absolutely brutal attack simulations, all at the same time. We're talking everything from mapping ghost military assets to fighting off self-modifying malware to stopping a ransomware pipeline dead in its tracks and even surviving a God mode attack that was designed specifically to corrupt its core healing functions. Just wow.
And the results? They were absolutely staggering. The system didn't just survive. It didn't just fend off the attacks. It dominated. It completely controlled the entire environment. And the performance data? Well, it really tells the story.
First off, the system deflected more than 99.9% of hostile radio frequency probes. I mean, that is a near-perfect defense around its perimeter. And remember, this is all happening while it's under that massive 4-pronged attack.
Okay, this next one is just incredible. It was up against a self-modifying payload, a virus that literally changes its own code to hide. It took the system's model just 12 turns or decision cycles to fully understand the threat, predict how it was going to change next, and then completely shut it down.
And get this, after any kind of incident, its mean time to recovery was less than 2 hours. So from the moment of the breach to a full system recovery and hardening itself so that that same attack can't happen again, that whole process was done and dusted in under 2 hours. That's probably before a human team could even finish their first emergency cup of coffee.
So you have to be asking, how does it do all this? Well, one of its secret weapons is a technique called verbalized sampling. It's pretty fascinating. Before it takes action, the system basically thinks out loud to itself. It articulates its reasoning, it explores a bunch of different options, and this whole process lets it generate more than double the creative counter responses of a standard AI.
And why is that so important? Well, because it prevents this really catastrophic failure mode called mode collapse. That's what happens when other AIs get stressed out. They get stuck in the loop, doing the same thing over and over. They become predictable. And in a fight like this, predictable is dead. AegisNet, on the other hand, it does the exact opposite. It actually gets more creative and more unpredictable when the pressure is on. So, when you put it all together, you've got the proactive Triadic Engine, you've got the self-healing armor, you've got that insane battle-tested resilience, you start to realize that AegisNet Lattice isn't just some fancy new firewall. It's a true predictive engine. It's a system that was built from the ground up to project, to model, and ultimately to shape the digital world of the future. And that leaves us with one last, kind of profound thought to chew on. An AI that can accurately see the future of the digital stream, that's a monumental leap forward. So the real question is, once you can see what's coming, what do you do with that power?